So we just got done with my first ever interview. My interview was with NASCAR Cup Series driver Landon Cassil. He races the Double Zero Starcom Chevrolet. He was very nice to me. There's a lot of good film, and I'm glad that he was able to do this. So, if Landon, if you are watching this, thank you for being on. I truly appreciate it, and stay tuned for us this week. I'll tell you more at the end of the episode. So here we go. I'm gonna end the Instagram live video. Don't mind that. Alright, we are live on Instagram. We are live. Alright, we are live on Instagram, and Landon Cassil has just joined, and he is gonna come on now. Okay, let me grab my list of... Hey, Landon.
Hey, Brady, how are you doing?
Good finish today.
Yeah, thank you. Wild race.
Yeah, definitely. What's your initial thought of the whole iRacing right now?
Man, I'm pretty pumped about it. I'm really enjoying myself. I'm spending a lot of time on it. My son is, yes, bud. Okay, I'll be there in a second.
Yeah.
So, my family I'm in my basement right now. There's a lot of toys and stuff like that. I've just spending a lot of time on iRacing lately, training for these races, really trying to take them seriously just because I have had real sponsors and stuff, and started a Twitch stream, which is new for me, but which is how you and I met each other. So,
what got you into racing? I gotta ask.
Man, I started racing at a young age. Started as a kid racing go-karts and, raced, worked my way up through late models and got into NASCAR. Raced. I was Jimmy Johnson's test driver for 5 years. So it's just been racing for a long time. Fortunately, now I'm 30 years old, but I've been doing it for a living for 12 years.
Nice. So, what's the best part of being a race car driver? Especially at your level of racing.
It's to be able to make a living at it is cool, and kind of live my dream as a kid to always race cars. So,
yeah.
I think every time I get to strap in and know that that's what my life is focused on is, definitely makes it worth it.
So, if you weren't racing in a race car, what would you be doing?
I don't know. I might be in the car business. My family comes to the used car business in Iowa. So, I could see myself at the family business.
So, how long what's your best finish, and why was it the most, and what's your most memorable finish and why?
Probably my most memorable was in 2014. I raced my way into the Daytona 500 through the duels, and that was a really important race for me and the team that I was driving for at the time. If had we not raced our way in, we might have gone out of business. So that the Daytona is a pretty big deal for those teams. So that's pretty memorable. And finishing fourth at Talladega in a Cup race was pretty memorable.
Yeah. So what's your favorite racetrack to race at?
Man, it's hard to pick. I mean, you can't beat Daytona, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's definitely one. I always pick Daytona. I mean, there's nothing
because anybody can win too.
Right, exactly. And the Daytona 500 is it's irreplaceable.
Mm-hmm. So, I think I'm gonna just click on the questions button quick. See, we have none. So,
yeah, if anybody's got any questions, leave a comment. We'll answer your questions. Looks like a lot of people will join. I see some familiar faces too. Some people I know. Let me see. Somebody asked if I was single. No, I'm not single. And that's my 4-year-old son playing in the background. This is Beckham. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, Max Wimber is a good buddy of mine. He's a golfing friend. I see him in here. So it's cool.
Watch this.
What? He's trying to play basketball. We've been watching Space Jam at the house during quarantine. So,
so how many races have you won on iRacing right now? So
not too many, like 5.
Oh.
I've been on
you ran good today.
I know I ran good today. I've been on the iRacing platform for a long time, but I actually haven't run a lot of official races over the years, and I've been a big supporter of the platform, but I probably haven't competed on the platform as much in the last 6 years. Mm-hmm. Okay, he wants us to watch them. There you go. All right, Megan, let me keep talking.
That was the best part.
So I haven't raced as much on iRacing in the last 5 or 6 years as I should have, and honestly, this Pro Invitational Series is great for the sport, and it's good that it got me back into iRacing.
So would you ever race dirt racing or?
Yeah, I've raced some dirt racing. In fact, I drove in the Chili Bowl and raced a dirt midget last year a couple times.
Ever raced like a modified, like a big block modified, or like a UMP modified?
I've driven IMCA modifieds. I'm from Iowa, so I've driven IMCA modifieds. I've never driven a big block modified, even though I definitely would. Are you from the Northeast?
Yeah, I'm from New York, and like one of our 2 biggest races are Super Dirt Week and then Eastern States Weekend in Orange County. And that's,
we're at New York?
Orange County. Oh God, I don't even know.
Or where are you from?
I'm from upstate by I'm 30 minutes from Albany. So
I've raced in Oswego before.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the good like the supercar track. If I'm right. Yeah.
DC Lee asked if as a dad, is it nice to not to be on the road and be home and but still racing? Yeah, it is. It's nice to be home right now. Being on the road is tough, even though it's what we love to do, and that's how I make my living. It is definitely interesting to be racing at home right now.
Yes.
And it's actually really hard for me. I've had a hard time in the last 2 weeks, like balancing how much time to spend on iRacing. And because the more time you spend on it, the better you get. So I've been trying to spend as much time there. But you definitely have to have a work-life balance, especially working from home.
Mm-hmm. So somebody asked, how much your iRacing setup cost? Well, I honestly probably can answer that for you because I heard you earlier. You said that aren't you renting one right now, or
Yeah, it's a loaner from Carolina SimWorks.
Yeah.
So if anybody's on iRacing.
I knew that from Twitch TV. Look up Landon Cassil on Twitch TV. He is on there daily posting iRacing. So if you guys want to check him out on there, make sure you do that.
Wheel and tilt and pedals and triple monitors are really really nice computer. So I mean, I think the thing's got 18 grand worth of hardware on it.
Mm. All right. What is your biggest fear, and how do you overcome that? And when stepping into a race car.
Stepping into a race car?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know about that. That's hard question to answer.
You can't really have.
You just don't want to crash, right? The biggest fear is crashing. I mean, crashing not even a matter of like getting hurt or anything, but just it can put you out of business. So, speaking of Oswego, I just saw Stacy Joya join. She's a good friend of mine from up in Oswego. Haven't seen her in a long time. There's some great racing in the Northeast, man. You guys, New Yorkers, you guys have the best racing. You got some diehard racers up there.
Yeah, where I'm from, I'm like 5 minutes away from Fonda Speedway, which is like one of the oldest tracks out there, and it's like everybody races there. Stuart Friesen races there.
Yeah,
we got a lot of big names that have come there before and raced.
That's
from
cool.
the Northeast, and he's one of the. And we're fortunate enough to have him be able to race that local, have a NASCAR driver racing local for us to get like a fan base.
That's cool.
On downstairs in the basement, so that they can watch it down here too.
I might, but we're gonna. It's about time for bed here in a little bit.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, this is my first interview. So this is pretty.
Hey, that's a good one. Make sure you save it.
NASCAR driver on. It's pretty amazing. So You've been racing for Morgan Shepherd, I've seen. What's it like to be racing for him?
Yeah, Morgan's a great dude. I just appreciate him so much and appreciate what he's trying to do, and I'm proud to drive his car and help him out. And the guy's been racing for a long time, and you don't race for 60 years without being able to build a pretty decent car. So we have some pretty good speed. We got a good motor in that car, and that's what really gives us the ability to cut a lap when it's time. But ultimately, it takes sponsorship, and that's what we need to build that team out to what it's capable of.
Yeah, and he's been in the sport so long that it's like, for his knowledge and stuff through the sport, it probably helps big time as a racer.
That's right.
Racing for him. We got another question coming in. Got any advice for a race car driver that's just starting to race?
I mean, race as much as possible. That's my advice. Dirt, asphalt, road course. If you can, if you can afford one type of car to race physically, whether it's a quarter midget or a Legends car or a midget or some sort of short track car, and then get on iRacing and race road courses and learn all the different platforms and race as much as possible and against the toughest competitors you can. Learn who's good, figure out who's competitive, find the deepest fields, and join those races, whether it's in the physical world or in the virtual world, and that'll make you a better racer.
All right.
Shout out to Brooke Schumann, just joined.
Okay.
Love her.
Shout out
Good
Brooke
friend.
Schumann. I gotta put that in the
Oh, yeah.
video. Give her a shout out as well, Brooke Schumann.
So, yeah. So I don't know how much time you got, so I think we're going to probably wrap that up for today. Thank you, Landon, for coming on. It's an honor for me to have you on as my first guest, and good luck this season, and good luck next week in iRacing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining the Twitch stream and commenting. Make sure you hang out and shout out as much as you can.
All right. I'll be there. So you have a good night.
All right. See you, Brady.
Good job, brother.
Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right.
Now, that was my interview right there with Landon Cassil. And Landon, if you are watching this again, I'm going to say it again. Thank you for being on. This week we have a whole bunch of different drivers. Lots of local drivers going to be on. Andy Graves, Josh Coonrat, John Stowell, Tim Hartman Jr., and Jack Lehner. Possibly Jack Lehner. If he's watching this, Jack Lehner, just let me know if you're still going to be able to do it. I'd like to thank everybody that's watching this. My TikTok is Brady Hauser 2019. My Instagram is Brady Hauser1. This is my YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys share it around. Let people see this interview. It's a very cool interview. Not many people get to say they interviewed a NASCAR driver for their first ever interview. And I'd like to thank everybody that watches. Shout out to everybody that helps me out. Sydney King, Warren Moss. He creates my intro songs. Stephen Hulbert, Ethan Angus, Landon Cassil, Natalie Decker, a whole bunch of other people I love and care a bunch about. And also, one more thing, Bryce, you good luck with your PW50 racing at Fonda. And that's all I got. And make sure you stay tuned for this week. It's going to be a pretty good week. And yeah, thank you. Take care.